Well, I was trying to do my video, and I guess I was doing a video on teaching my people that God is a so-called black man. And I know I'm not going to be able to read too much, so I better go ahead and get to the point of what I'm talking about. Saturday or Sunday, which is the Sabbath. It had just been he had just been horribly tortured and crucified and gone for 3 days in the tomb. It was natural for Christ to meet with them after this had happened. This account says nothing of this being a worship service or a resurrection service. The brothers were meeting privately, probably secretly, in a closed room for fear of the Jews. Remember, the Jews had crucified their friend and master. They would have had much to discuss. Also, remember that they had all been living together in this single upper room, Acts 1 and verse 13. It was impossible that the meeting was some kind of Sunday resurrection celebration because the disciples did not believe that Jesus was risen. Mark 16 verses 14. Luke chapter 24 verses 37 and 39 through 41. Yeah. So there is certainty nothing in this account that reference either Sunday or that the Sabbath is done away. Therefore, we conclude that it contains no authority for changing God's Sabbath to Sunday. Matthew chapter 28:1. At the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. Matthew wrote this, verse 6 years after this event occurred. Take the passenger at face value. Matthew used the Sabbath as a point of reference to show that it was dawning toward or into the first day of the week from what he still understood was the Sabbath. This is the point being made. The Sabbath was still the seventh day of the week from Matthew's perspective. Okay, now the video is getting ready to end. So I'm saying that to say, just like they changed the Sabbath, they changed the image of how Christ looked. Christ was not a so-called white man. He was a so-called black man. Yes, he was a so-called black man. And this has been